of land under the crop this season. Speaking to the media in Eldoret town, the wheat growers who met under the umbrella Cereal Growers Association accused the government of failing to caution them from import of wheat. Now they allege that the cheap importation of wheat has led them has made them vulnerable, as the crops that they had harvested are still in the store with nobody to buy. You can also check that story and read more comprehensively. And another story by Samuel Kariuki is 9 UON, University of Nairobi students handed scholarship to study Chinese. You can also read that 9 students from University of Nairobi will be heading to China to study Chinese language for 6 months at Taijin Normal University. You can also grab a copy and read that. And also moving on to page 15, where we see new mosquito species and climate change behind surge in malaria. Hot season and more rain and extreme weather events are creating good conditions for expansion of vector habitats. You can also grab a copy and read much of that story. We move with speed, with high speed to business matters, that is on page 25. Assets seized from corrupt individuals to be auctioned. Now, agency said it will auction assets including cars and motorcycles recovered under the provision of Proceeds of Crime and Money Laundering Act. Now, this is the right time. If you like to buy a car, this is the right time to please go and buy a car, because cars which are sold are proprieties. That story is by Victor Mukabi. Kenyans in the diaspora who have been saving their monies with Awe Diaspora Savings and Credit Cooperative Society are sharing at a huge losses after the government placed the society under liquidation. You can also check that. And on the same page we see Safaricom post 18% rise in data usage on personalized offers. A story by Ian Okal. Now Safaricom's mobile data revenue grew by 18% this year, year on to 63.24 billion in the year ending May 2024, according to the teleco's latest financial report. You can also check that and read that and more of that story. Now, moving on to page 28. Why is Ukraine negotiating mineral deal with America? You can also read that. Zelensky's first included the offer of an agreement on minerals in the so-called victory plan he gave to the Trump last September. You can also grab a copy and read much of that story. Now, moving on to world news on page 31, where we see Pope Francis leads Catholic Church from hospital ward. Now, despite being in the Gemelli Hospital in Rome for the past 10 days, Pope Francis remains in charge of the Vatican. You can also check that story and read more comprehensively. You can also check that and read. Now, moving on to sports, matters of sports on page 35. Now, Scania and Patel prepares for Safari Rally Quest. You can also check on that. KCB racing team drivers leave nothing to chance as they enter the final stretch of preparation for the worldwide event. A story by Lucky Olwatch. You can grab a copy and read more comprehensively. And also we see story by Bosco Magare. Basketball wonder kid Otieno stamps authority in Siaya basketball. Now 14-year-old Valentine Otieno, identified as basketball prodigy 4 years ago by national women basketball team coach George Mayenga, was named the most valuable player of the second edition of Helen Masengeli Nia Girls Tournament. You can also check that and read much of that story more comprehensively. Now also on page 30, where we see Nairobi's young bowlers impress in junior NBA event. Story by Lucky Oluoch. Now St. John's Junior Secondary School from Korogocho and Olympic Junior Secondary School from Kibera have been crowned champions of the M-Pesa Junior NBA Nairobi edition after thrilling performance in the boys and girls final at Sabis International School Basketball Arena. You can also grab a copy and read that. And also Canby's A, unstoppable at home. You can also read that. Away team extends dominance in NPCA 20 league with double victory last weekend, strengthening their position at the top. You can also grab a copy and read that story on page 27. Tonight, Starlets aim to draw Tunisia's home run. And now you can also check that Kenya's national women football team face make or break clash this evening with WAFCON ticket on the line. You can also check that story and read more comprehensively from that. And moving on, other matters is that it is a 3-horse race. Now, victories for each of the top 5 La Liga teams as Barcelona, Real Madrid and Atletico keep distance from rest of the pack. A story from Madrid. Now La Liga is a 3-horse race between Atletico Madrid, Barcelona and Real Madrid. You can also check and read that story. And we see World Athletics Chief IOC aspirant Koe says open to Russia Olympic returns. You also check on that. And also let us see on page 39 controversial remarks on AFCON. Jimmy Carragher's view on African tourney reflect a wide issue of disrespect towards the showpiece. You can also check that and read much of that story. Will wounded Arsenal bounce back? That's a question on the last page of page 40. You can grab a copy and read that story. Now the Gunners travel to on form Nottingham Forest, seeking morale to boost after losing at Emirates on Sunday for the first time this season. You can also check that and read more comprehensively. And also Nondi's Source Children Village partners to empower youths. You can also grab a copy and check that. Now let us move to page 10. Let us move to page 10 where we have the quote of the day as we sum up what we had for you today. On page 10 where we have quote of the day. One is from DAP party leader Eugene Wamalwa. It is terribly wrong that our police officers and security forces are being sent to protect foreign nations while our own people are being slaughtered at home. You can also check on that. And also another one from National Land Commission CEO Kabale Tache says people come to NLC expecting their compensation, then when they get there we have no money to compensate them. That is also there. And also we see another quote of the day from Manyata MP Gitonga Mukunji. It is sad that an institution as critical as the IEBC has not been given the seriousness it deserves when it comes to budgetary allocations. Now, those are the quotes of the day. And now let us look at the cartoon of the day. It is on your screen, and we see the images or the pictures of the cartoons drawn to the image of President William Ruto and also former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, when they are tied with the same belt, and the belt is written 2027 deal. Imagine they are running and there is a hurdle. There's a hurdle there in front of them, and they're tied on the same belt running for 2027 deal. And what is Raila saying? 2 heads are better than 1. I did it with Moi, Kibaki and Uhuru. Think of it. Check what will come to 2027. Now let us now look at the thought of the day from Gabriel Marcel. Contemplation and wisdom are highest achievement, and a man is not totally at home with them. Contemplation and wisdom are highest achievements, and man is not totally at home with them. That's the thought of the day. The thought of the day. Come think of it, leave a comment. Thank you so much for keeping tuned to BTV. We have to bring this to the end. Have a blessed Wednesday. See you tomorrow at the same time. God bless you.